Hello BookTube! Apologies for the slightly damp hair, but today I'm coming at you with a book review of Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Sáenz. I probably should have googled how to say that before I said it, but let's just roll with it because I've said it now and sorry. First things first, I went into this book with pretty high expectations considering it had created a big buzz in the booktube community and on blogs, GOODREADS, anywhere I've read about it, people seem to be ranting and raving saying, oh, it's the best YA book I've read in ages. And I really expected it to resonate with me considering one of the main themes of the book is teenagers discovering themselves, who they are, their families, all of that jazz. The story doesn't really have a plot or a mystery or it doesn't really have a focus, it just follows two boys, Aristotle and Dante, as they grow from the ages of, I think it's 15 to 17. Honestly, I have to say I was quite disappointed by this book. It wasn't bad, but it just really, for me, didn't live up to the hype. The first half of the book, I can pretty much say I hated. Anyone who I spoke to about the book I was reading, I just said, oh, it's so boring, I don't want to read it, but I thought, no, I'll push through because so many people love it. I don't know, I just thought the prose was really boring. I didn't care about the story, I didn't care about the characters. I mean, there is sort of an excuse, you know, of teenage angst and other mental issues that Aristotle might have had, but I just thought he just moaned about everything and ugh. I just couldn't be bothered with it. There didn't really seem to be any plot, and as one of the main focuses of the book being Aristotle and Dante's friendship, I couldn't really understand why they were friends in the first place. Dante teaches Aristotle how to swim, but I think as a 15-year-old boy, Ari probably would have felt a little bit more nervous about that. Like, I can't swim, and it's pretty embarrassing, and I don't see why he'd just go, oh yeah, sure, teach me how to swim, I'll deal with it. Especially as a boy who seems quite socially insecure and not knowing what's going on. But, you know, it happened and they decided to be best friends after that. Their relationship was quite rocky throughout the book, but I did quite enjoy how it grew. Now, I'm trying to be spoiler free here, so I don't really know how to put this, but something happens to Aristotle and Dante, and I just thought, when a book's really well crafted, it feels like it is real life. Not necessarily real life, because you could be reading fantasy and it feels well crafted, but I felt like it was a really obvious plot device. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Now, I preferred the second half of the book miles and miles and miles more than the first half, probably because Dante was gone, and it gave Aristotle some real time for growth. And I liked his two female friends that he had. I think they were called Gina and Susie. I'm not quite sure what they brought to the book, I just enjoyed their presence. Another thing I really enjoyed about Aristotle and Dante was the family aspects, because quite a lot of contemporary YA books have troubled families, and I know that is the reality, sadly, for a lot of people, but in this book the family's really strong, and it was really nice to read about teenagers who actually really love their parents. Obviously there are some issues in Aristotle's family regarding his brother, but that was maybe one of my favourite bits of the book as well, because I really liked the way it played out and the way it affected him and his family and how it sort of brought them all closer together when they finally realised they couldn't keep having secrets anymore. And there's a bit near the end of the book where Aristotle just happy cries to his mum because he loves her so much, and I really like that bit. And I said a little bit earlier about how I found the prose a bit boring. It was very I did this and I did that and very jumpy with a lot of new lines started, which I didn't really like, but sometimes just a really beautiful paragraph would come out of nowhere and you just go, wow, why couldn't old Benjamin lad write like that all the time? Because it's a hell of a lot more interesting than the other he's talking about. I did really like the ending. It was really good how it wasn't built up to. Aristotle's dad said something and then he was like, oh, okay, and then the book sort of ended in a really nice way, which made me feel like I had quite a bit of closure without wrapping it up all too tightly and neatly. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, I think, on GOODREADS, because yeah, it was an okay read, but I really didn't like the first half and I was disappointed because it didn't live up to the hype in any way whatsoever. Overall, I felt like it tried a bit too hard to be this amazing, deep, meaningful YA novel that has everyone crying, and for me it doesn't really achieve that. Next up, I'm reading The Accidents Season by Moira Fowley-Doyle, and I should hopefully bring you a review of that when I'm done with it. Bye guys, nice talking to you.